Hello guys, how are you today? I hope everyone is doing great. It's a beautiful day today. And I'm here for one more lesson to help you improve your English. And together we learn many interesting things, interesting information. Apart from grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, you will also expand your horizons and your general knowledge. So today we have a very interesting topic. I think most people are interested in this topic really, different aspects of it as well. And actually we're gonna move on to talk about two topics towards the end of our lesson. So let me start with my question first. How jazzed do you feel today? And no, I'm not talking about how crazy or whatever you feel today, but this is a hint to give you an insight about today's topic, which is about music, of course. So, the first thing that I want you to tell me is what types of music do you prefer listening to? Do you listen to jazz, rock, pop? Metal, I don't know, electronic music. Tell me in the comments and the live chat. I want to see what type of music you like. And I have one more question for you, which is related more to your knowledge of English. I want you to tell me how many musical instruments can you name in English? So go in the comments and the live chat and start typing the musical instruments that you can remember in English, as many as you can. Okay, you can write the basics like guitar, piano, and you can continue maybe with some that are more complex or more difficult, etc. Just something that I want you to remember since we are talking about musical instruments is that when we are talking about instruments, you always need the article the. For example, I play the guitar, okay? You always need that. I play the piano, etc. So that's something important for you to remember and something that we easily forget. All right. Me myself, I don't know if you play any musical instruments. If you do, you can tell me. I used to play, but I don't know. That was like 20 years ago, maybe more. And I was playing the keyboard actually. All right. So I have a few pictures to show you next related to music. And I want to see if you can guess the words that the pictures represent. Okay, let's see how good you are at guessing. These are my 6 pictures. And you see 2 musical instruments, 1 person. It's a job actually that he does at that point. Then you're looking at a specific part of a musical instrument. Okay. Number 5, you see some equipment that we use sometimes when we play music. And in number 6, you see a group of people who are singing together as a group. So, can you name any of the 6 pictures? If yes, tell me in the comments. Write 1 and tell me the name of the instrument. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see how good you are, alright? And don't worry though, if you are not sure about something, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to give you a list of words, the 6 words that we need here, and you can match them in case you don't know something, alright? So, let's see. This is the list. Of course, the words are mixed up. We don't know the correct order, okay? I'll just pronounce them for you and then you can match them to the pictures if you are not sure about something yet. So the first one is strings, choir. Now here the pronunciation is a bit strange. The first sound is k, okay? And then you have wa, okay? Choir. And the last sound is sy. It's a silent sound. It's an choir. All right. Then we have bass guitar or bass. Okay, you can pronounce them. You can pronounce it in two ways: amplifier, conductor, and cello. Alright, now I think that giving you the words made it much easier. So let's see the words together. Okay, and you can pronounce them again with me if you want, right? Focus on the pronunciation. Cello. You have a ch, cello. Bass or bass. Now he is the conductor. So your sound here, your second syllable is a, duck, conductor. Okay, and his job, as you see, is to guide the group of people who are playing the instruments or who are singing, etc. Now, for the next one, we have the part of the instrument that we use to play. In bass, we have 4 of them. In guitars, we have 6, etc. So we have strings. Okay, these are called strings. And now, if you want to change a little bit the sound and play with the sound of the instrument, you can use an amplifier. It will also help you, of course, make it louder, etc. And the last one is our favorite word, choir. Okay, so tell me about these words, these 6 words that we saw first. Did you know them? Have you seen them before? Is it the first time that you see them? Okay. Is there a word that you think is difficult for you? I know most people usually tell me about the word choir. Okay. Sometimes I pronounce it as choir or choir. No, it's choir. Okay. And now we will continue with a few more words, but now we will work on a different type of exercise. It's a matching. I will give you the words and the definitions, and I want you to match them. And I will pronounce the words again for you in order to help you, okay? So we have concerto, encore, okay, encore. You see the sounds here are a little bit different. Orchestra. The stress is on or, first syllable, orchestra. Number 4 is genre. Number 5 is chorus. 6, cacophony. 7, ballad. And the last one, opera. Okay, so you see the definitions as well. A part of song that is repeated, a poem or song narrating a story in short stanzas. Stanza is a line, okay, in a poem. Composition for solo instruments or a group of soloists. A group of instrumentalists playing classical music. A dramatic work with many acts set to music. Additional performance as called by the audience. Mixture of harsh and inharmonious sounds, and a style of art, music, literature, etc. So, I don't know if you have seen these words before, if you're familiar with them, or if they are completely new to you, but don't worry, we'll explain everything together. So, I will pronounce them one more time and then we'll see the answers together. If you want, you can pronounce with me. Concerto. Encore. Okay, so you see that the sound here is not E. Sorry, it's closer to an O. Encore. Orchestra. Genre. Chorus. Cacophony. Ballad. Opera. Okay, we have a few strange pronunciations and we will talk about it a little bit more in a few minutes, okay? So let's take a look at the answers first. What is a concerto? Is a poem or a song narrating a story. No, sorry, that's not a concerto. My answer here is wrong. It's C. Yeah. It's a composition for solo instruments or group of solists. Okay, that's a concerto. Encore. It is F. An additional performance as called by the audience. What does this mean? Imagine that you are in a concert, at a concert, and the singer sings the last song, they finish the performance, but the audience calls them to come back onto stage and perform one more song. So that's an encore. Then we have orchestra. Okay, orchestra, of course, is a group of instrumentalists, a group of musicians. For example, we have the violinists, the cellists, the pianists, etc. Okay. The next one, genre. That's a very common word, not only in music as you see, we can talk about different genres in literature like novels and poetry and science fiction. And of course we have different genres in music like jazz, pop, rock, etc. The next word, chorus, as you see, it's the part of the song that is repeated, the main part if you want, that will be repeated 3 or 4 times in a song. For number 6, cacophony, we have a mixture of harsh and inharmonious sounds. Imagine an orchestra where very untalented musicians play. The sound will not be melodic, it will be a cacophony of sounds. And number 7, ballad. What is a ballad? It is a poem or song narrating a story in short stanzas. That's the original meaning. Nowadays, we also use it to describe very slow and romantic songs. Okay, but this is not the original meaning of the word. And the last one is the word opera, which is a dramatic word. Imagine of something similar to theater, but it is set in music. Okay. So tell me about the vocabulary that we have seen so far. Do you want me to repeat something? Do you want me to answer any questions in relation to the meaning or the pronunciation, which we are going to see more closely? Tell me your opinion and think about any questions really, and I'm here to answer everything. All right. So let's continue, guys. What is important to mention here is that most of the words that we saw in the two previous exercises do not originate in the English language. They come from one of these three languages that you see here, either Italian, French, or Greek. So you have the words cello, choir, concerto, encore, orchestra, genre, chorus, cacophony, ballad, and opera. And I want you to try and put them into categories according to the language from which they originate. Sometimes there are patterns and there are common sounds that can help you think which language each word belongs to. Okay, for example, and we will see the sounds in a bit. The sound ch is very characteristic here, or the ch, the k, is also very characteristic of one of the languages. So I'll just give you a minute to do that, and you can write your answers in the comments. Okay, you can write Italian, give me the words, French, Greek, all right? I'm waiting to see your answers. And you see that we are talking about three specific languages right now, but we will expand a little bit on that later. So you will see, you will get a taste of what the English language consists of, which borrowed words are used from which other languages, etc. Alright, so let's take a look together. We have Italian, cello, concerto, opera, and you see here the sound ch that is very, very common, the C-E. In English, the C-E is usually pronounced S, like center, okay, city center. But if the word originates from Italian, you have the ch sound. Then we have the French, encore, genre, ballad. And here the en, which is part of the second word, so gen, is pronounced closely to an o, un, okay, un, encore, genre. And then here you have the ch and the ph, which are two spellings. If the ch is pronounced k and not ch, okay, so we have church and chorus. Why are these two pronounced differently? Because the second word, the word chorus, comes from Greek, okay? So every word with ch that comes from Greek is pronounced k, choir, chorus, orchestra. And if you see the ph with a sound f, this is also a sign that the word is Greek, okay, like cacophony, okay, or photography. And you can see here the sounds a little bit more closely, the ch and the je as well in genre. The je is also a sound very similar in the French language, and the k and f in Greek. So now that you have started getting an idea and recognizing a bit where these words belong, which language they belong to, I have one more exercise for you. I have another set of words, and now that you know a bit more, I want you to try and place them in the correct category. It should be easier now with your knowledge, okay? So I'll just give you a few seconds. For that, if you want, you can write your answers in the comments or the live chat again. Italian, French, Greek, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, and I will pronounce the words one more time to help you. The pronunciation might help you a lot. Duet, chemistry, microphone, falsetto, rhythm, chef, chauffeur, ensemble, solo, soprano. All right. I think the pronunciation helps a lot actually. If you listen to the way the word is pronounced, it clears out uh, the image that you have for the word. So let's take a look at the Italian words. Of course, falsetto. Generally, if you see endings like that, like etto, it brings in mind Italian language, solo, and soprano. And generally, you see that these words are related to music. A lot of words related to music, and a lot of words related to coffee come from the Italian language anyway. Then we have the French, duet, like ballet, okay, duet. So the T is not clear in your pronunciation, it's almost silent. Chef, you see the sh, another common element, okay? So an English word like church would be pronounced with ch, ch as ch. Greek would be ch as k, and French, as you see here, ch as sh. So we have three different sounds for the same spelling. So we have chef, chauffeur, and ensemble. And the Greek now, chemistry, microphone, rhythm. Here, sometimes it might be hard to pronounce this word because you have the sound the and the sound m that are linked, the last two sounds, rhythm, them. Okay, rhythm. And let's pronounce them one more time, guys, okay? Falsetto, solo, soprano, duet, chef, it's sh, okay, chef, ensemble, chauffeur, chemistry, it's a k, no? Chemistry, microphone, rhythm. All right. And I told you that you will learn a lot of general information and you will expand your general knowledge apart from learning English. So I wanted to talk to you about a very interesting topic taken from the very interesting music topic that we had and the pronunciation topic. And I want to turn it a little bit towards what languages have given words to the English language? So, I'm sure that you already know more foreign words than you think in English. Can you think of words in English that come from other languages similar to what we saw right now? You can write them in the comments. It could be words that derive from any language, okay? Whatever you think. It might be words that come from Spanish, words that come from Chinese, and we use them a lot in English. Other words, maybe other Italian, French, or Greek words that you know, okay? So tell me a few more things in the comments. And maybe you can't really think right now, pushing you to tell me a word, but I'm sure that you have seen and you know a lot of words that are used in English but do not originate in the English language. And I have an article here that was very interesting and gives us a little bit of an overview of the English language, how it changed, and which languages inspired its current form. So let's read together. It's the history of English first. In the year 500, German, Danish, and Dutch invaders landed in Britain. Now, I know countries and nationalities sometimes can be difficult, so we have Germany, Denmark, and Dutch is the Netherlands. Okay, so we have German, Danish, and Dutch invaders in Britain. They kicked out all the Celts and installed Old English. So we know that the origin of the English language is Germanic languages. That's the basis, okay? But then we have more than that. A few hundred years later, Vikings brought over Old Norse Scandinavian influences. Okay, of course, I'm sure you are all aware of the Vikings and the influence they had. And then the Norman conquest of 1066 flooded the governments with what eventually became French. So we have German, Danish, Dutch first, the core, the Germanic languages. We have Scandinavian Norse influences and Norman, which is the French. By the time the Renaissance rolled around, international trade had imported loanwords from Italian, Latin, Greek, German, and even Yiddish. So then you see how other languages came in through commerce, through trade. And, of course, due to globalization and immigration, English continues to rapidly change. So these are the main influences. Let's see more specifics now. Let's say numbers. How much of English is English? As you can see, only 1/4, 25% of the language is the original English with Germanic influences, okay? Only 25%. Even though English is technically a Germanic language, only 1/4 of the English language is directly derived from Germanic languages, which include Old Middle English, Old Norse, and Dutch. So what on earth is the other 75% made of? Let's see. 29% of English comes directly from French. That's why there are so many French words in English. 29%, guys. Even though English is a Germanic language, it borrows more from French than it does from Old English. That's interesting. Thanks to the Renaissance, it pulls another 29% from Latin. So far you have 25% from Germanic languages, 29% from French, 29% from Latin, okay? This is why Romance languages are some of the easiest languages for English speakers to learn. Half of the vocabulary comes from Latin and French already, so there are similarities. And if you are speaking, if your mother tongue is a language that derives from French and Latin, then it should be easy for you to learn English too, easier at least. Then, Greek contributes 6% to English, 4% comes from people's names, and the other 6% is a mix of languages, okay? It's Celtic, Spanish, Norman, Italian, Hebrew, Yiddish, Persian, and Arabic. So we have all these languages that are another 6%. And I have a small quiz for you, okay? in order to close today's lesson with a fun and interesting activity. I have gathered a few words, 10 words specifically, that derive from different languages, and they are common words in English. So I want you to guess the language and write in the comments. Okay? So it's 10 words. I don't have the numbers here, but you can write numbers with the answers in the comments if you want. Okay, 1, I don't know, French, whatever. 2, Greek. 3, Spanish. Okay, so here are the words: ketchup, delicatessen, tornado, lemon, cookie, shampoo, tattoo, renaissance, mammoth, and whiskey. And all these words you see are very, very common in English, but they come from different languages, not English. So I'll just give you a few more seconds to guess. Some of them are easier, maybe some of them more difficult. I want to say that you should know the last one. I don't know if that's a hint. Okay. But some of them might be a little bit misleading. You might think that it's a word that comes from a different language, but it comes from another one that you wouldn't have thought. Okay. So let's see. We have ketchup. Ketchup actually comes from Chinese. Delicatessen, or deli, as we say, comes from German. Tornado, of course, comes from Spanish. Lemon is Arabic. Cookie is Dutch. Shampoo comes from Hindi. Tattoo is Samoan, Polynesian word. Renaissance, of course, French. Mammoth, Russian. And of course, you should know the last one, definitely whiskey, Irish. Okay, which means water of life, if I remember well. Okay, so this was just a hint for you, a taste. But if you are interested in this topic, you can go online and you will find so many websites and articles giving you more words in English that come from different languages. And I think it might be a nice way if you're interested to learn new vocabulary, because you will see many new words there that you can use. Alright guys, so this was our lesson for today, and let's see very quickly, very briefly, what we talked about today. We focused at first on vocabulary about music and the pronunciation of words related to music that comes from foreign languages. And then we delved into the topic of foreign languages vocabulary that has become a large part of the English language. We did a little bit of reading about that. I hope it was an interesting lesson for you. I want you to tell me, what did you learn today? What was the most interesting information that you kept in mind, alright? I really hope that you enjoyed it. It's a topic that I really like as well. And I'll be waiting for you to be here with me for our next class. Looking forward to it. Bye, guys.